What's going on, guys? It is Steve with Mouse Secrets. Another new video for today. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today we're going to be talking about theme park attendance. It's kind of interesting. We'll be looking at some data from recently released numbers for 2023 theme park attendance globally. So we'll be looking at theme park attendance globally, but of course with the emphasis right here on the Walt Disney World Resort as well as the Universal Orlando Resort here in Central Florida. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to take a look at this data a little bit, this attendance data, and maybe try to speculate on, first of all, why the data is showing what it is and what the data could mean for the future. So without further ado, let's dive into some numbers. Always fun to do a little bit of math and numbers. But I have something uploading on my computer too. What is going on here? I don't even know what that's all about. My child, I think, was banging on the keys of my computer. Exactly what she was doing. When I just left the office here for a second, she was banging on the keys, and I have no idea, but we're going to hit cancel here, and we're going to continue on with this video. So anyway, sorry about that. Without further ado, let's take a look at the data. There it is. Okay, this is from Forbes magazine, but it's not data compiled by Forbes magazine. They're just the ones reporting on it. Actually, the data comes from the 2023 Theme Park Index report put together by Themed Entertainment Association and the AECOM Economics and Advisors. Before we even dive into any of this, though, I want to make a couple things clear. We're looking at attendance data for 2023, not 2024, but we're looking at 2023. I do want to say this, though, that Disney themselves, as well as other theme park analysts, are forecasting for continued slow theme park attendance. So we've had slow attendance throughout the summer, continuing into at least like the first 2 quarters of 2025, if not beyond. So just want to have that out there too. So we're looking at data for 2023, not what's going on currently, not what could be going on in the near future into next year. We'll talk about that though. But this data is for 2023. Okay, here we go. 2023 Theme Park Index report. First thing you'll see is global theme park operators of 2023. Ranked number 1, of course, is going to be Disney Experiences. This is everything. This is Orlando, California, in the international parks, and of course in Asia as well. 142 million attendees. That's a 17% year-over-year increase. Pretty big. And if you want to know for Universal comes in number 4 with roughly almost 61 million in attendance, and that's an 18% year-over-year increase. I want to skip down here. Okay, so if you're not familiar, if you've never looked at theme park attendance before, Magic Kingdom is it's the number one. It's the bellwether. It's the number one. It's always the number one most attended theme park globally of all companies, or etc. So in 2023, we had 17.7, here I'm looking right here, 17.7 million attendees. That was a 3.4% increase. Interestingly, number 2 is Disneyland in California, 17.3 million. Isn't that crazy that like Magic Kingdom is kind of on par with, or Disneyland is kind of on par with Magic Kingdom? I always think that's kind of crazy. Only like a 500,000 person difference, which I know 500,000 people is a lot, but in this sense, it's not. And it was a 2.2% year-over-year increase. I need to explain something here, though. So if you notice some of the Asian parks, like let me look a little further down, like Shanghai Disneyland, 164% year-over-year. Chimelong Ocean Kingdom in China, 184%. Those really large percent increases, year-over-year increases, are for COVID still, because this is 2023 numbers, basing that year-over-year percent up or down off of 2022. Well, in Asia, a lot of the parks were still under COVID restrictions and so forth, capacity restrictions, whatever. So obviously there was something that really skewed and lowered the attendance numbers in those parks in Asian countries and so forth in 2022. So when you compare to a more open, full attendance park, you're going to see a skewed large year-over-year increase. I just want to explain, like, something crazy, super crazy didn't happen in Shanghai Disneyland that you saw this 164% increase other than just being fully open and so forth. And so you see that in some of the parks in Asia. This is an interesting one. We'll talk about this more when we go further down. But Epcot, 20%, almost 20% year-over-year increase. And then the Hollywood Studios actually saw a little decline, 5.5%. Now, let's focus in on what we want to look at here. Make sure we're good. You guys can see. Yes, you guys can see. Okay, so so we said Walt Disney World. Okay, so Magic Kingdom, 17.7 million attendees, which is crazy. 3.4% increase, slight increase. We skip over Disneyland, jump to Epcot. Epcot then came in as a number 3 most visited theme park domestically. Number 2 was Disneyland. Number 3, Epcot, up 20%. Here's something interesting. Well, before I bring that up, I will show one more thing. Okay, so Hollywood Studios did see a decline, came down 5.5% in attendance. Islands of Adventure dropped almost 10%, 9.3%, as well as Universal Studios Florida, 9.3% drop. And then Animal Kingdom saw a 2.8% drop. What I want to bring up, though, real quick is when the parks first reopened post-pandemic 2021, this same index or same data set showed that, of course, number 1 was Magic Kingdom, but then the number 2 and 3 slot were the Universal Parks here in Orlando for domestic attendance. So it was Magic Kingdom and the Universal Parks. Obviously, since then, they've kind of declined back a little bit. And let's speculate on why this may be going on and why these numbers are moving the way they're moving, why we saw some increases and some decreases. So Magic Kingdom, pretty solid, little bit of an increase. Is it hitting a ceiling? Probably hitting a little bit of an attendance ceiling. And again, we're talking about 2023. We're not talking about what's going on currently, which is a softening in attendance right now, as well as a continued softening or even decline or more of a decline into the first half, 2 quarters of 2025. But we're talking about in 2023. So 3.4% increase for Magic Kingdom. Now, if you look at Epcot had a 20% increase. So let's speculate on probably why that happened. If you ask me, I would say it's going to be because of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind opening in 2023, as well as Moana's Journey of Water. Now, talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, that's a very positively reviewed attraction. It raves in reviews. People love it and so forth. So I definitely think that's a draw to bring people to Epcot. Moana Journey of Water, I don't know that would bring someone in specifically, but when you combine the two, that gives you twice the reason to visit Epcot. So it makes me wonder, did Hollywood Studios have a decline of 5.5% because Epcot with Guardians of the Galaxy and so forth cannibalize a little bit of the attendance from Hollywood Studios? Possible that maybe some people that were only going to go to Disney World for 3 days on their vacation, instead of like doing all 4 parks, maybe they just between Epcot and Hollywood Studios, I'd rather go to Epcot and experience the Guardians and see Moana Journey of Water. So if I were guessing, that's what gives Epcot that 20% bump. It's new, it's a very popular attraction that gets awesome press and so forth. Hollywood Studios having that 5.5% decline could be, like I said, cannibalization because of Epcot. It also could be, I think, due to you're just getting further down the line with Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is more than 5 years old. Toy Story Land is older. If you look at D23, Josh D'Amaro announced that they're going to be putting a new show into the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I kind of understand that because I don't know that that attraction necessarily has a lot of rewritability to it. Once you've done it, you've seen the little video game show on the screen, you're probably done. I think I've only ridden it twice. I don't ever really have a desire oh my gosh, I gotta go to Hollywood Studios and ride the Millennium Falcon ride or something. Maybe go take a picture with it, but actually ride it. So I think getting that Millennium Falcon new show in there is probably to help try to get draw some attendance back into Hollywood Studios. I don't know that will be a big enough impact on attendance, though, having that one little upgrade. However, and we're going to talk about it, there are bigger upgrades coming down the line in the next upcoming years. But before we talk about any of that stuff, I want to talk about what's going on with the Universal situation. So you see Islands of Adventure down 9.3%, as well as Universal Studios Florida. Universal down 9.3%. Well, what's coming in the future? Hint, hint, hint. What could be coming in the future? Hint, hint, hint. The hint is somewhere on your screen right about here. Well, what's coming in the future, not too far away, actually next year at some point, hopefully, I think at any moment we'll get an opening date, is Universal's Epic Universe. The brand new, state-of-the-art, probably most anticipated new theme park in my adult lifetime. In 20 some years, it's like the most important like theme park since Animal Kingdom being built in the USA, possibly globally, you could say. Like, I think it's going to be huge. Epic Universe is going to be huge. So how does that play into the decline of 9.3% in visits to Islands of Adventure and Universal itself? I think it's common sense. Like, folks are holding off coming right now, or coming in 2023 as well as 2024, because they want to experience Epic Universe. They want to go there, which totally makes sense. And it's going to be interesting to see how Epic Universe, how it interacts with attendance for Islands of Adventure and for Universal Studios Florida, as well as even the Disney parks that are in the same region and in the same area here in Central Florida. And we'll talk about that more too in a second. But the last one I want to talk about, of course, is Animal Kingdom, which saw a little bit of a decline, 2.8%. I think Animal Kingdom's attendance issues are pretty obvious. It just closes too darn early. 6 p.m. is ridiculous. It's just too early. And I'm a great example of it. Me and my family are a great example of it. It's the park that we go to the least. Not because we don't like it, but because it closes at 6 o'clock. So to have a really great day at Animal Kingdom, you've got to commit to being there in the morning. Right. And so 6 o'clock rolls up really, really, really fast. I think it's a bad idea that Animal Kingdom is still only staying up to 6 p.m. for, number one, it makes it difficult to experience the park so quick, such a short amount of time or in a short time window. Number two, Avatar Land is supposed to be bioluminescent and glow in the dark. Well, how are you supposed to experience that if it's still sunshine at 6 o'clock here in Florida? Heck, half the apparel that I have for Pandora Land is glow in the dark. The shirts and everything are always glow in the dark. You can't actually get to, enjoy wearing the merch, the Pandora Avatar merch in Pandora Land in the glowing environment because it closes too early. That, and again, it's maybe something similar to with Hollywood Studios, where Galaxy's Edge it's older now. Pandora Land is older. It's been around for a long time at this point. And I think the luster of Pandora Land is wearing off. Most people that have wanted to experience have already been here to experience it, probably more than once at this point. And I just think this is where your D23 announcements are coming from. So, let's just talk about Animal Kingdom first. We know Animal Kingdom is Dinosaur Land is going to become Tropical America. You're going to have the new Encanto dark ride that sounds absolutely amazing. You're going to have this really cool theme that sounds like wood-carved carousel. That should be a lot of fun for the whole family. You've got Dinosaur that's going to go down. It's going to be rethemed into a new Indiana Jones attraction. Not the same as the one in California, but something unique and special and new for here in Florida. Snakes, lots and lots of snakes. So I think that's the plan. They know that they've ridden the Avatar wave long enough with the attendance and success of it, which was really, really great over a decade. But at this point now, it's time to have that new draw into Animal Kingdom. So there you go. That's your new draw, as well as we're getting the new Zootopia show inside of Tree of Life. Hollywood Studios, we all know the controversy there, which is Monsters Land, which everyone is happy. I think that Monsters Land is coming. That's going to include shopping and the Doors coaster and so forth. But of course, the placement of it, I think, is where the controversy lies with Hollywood Studios. But I think it's for the same reason. They've ridden the wave of Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. Galaxy's Edge is a weird one because I don't even know how much repeatability the whole land has. I think it's one of those things where once you've experienced Galaxy's Edge, you're not necessarily dying to go back unless you're in that small minority that just absolutely loves the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. And you're like, I've got to immerse myself in it. But I don't know that there's enough folks out there that is the case. So, Toy Story Land, I actually think maybe, in my opinion, might be the more successful of the two lands. I'm probably pretty biased because I'm not a big Galaxy's Edge fan by any means. So anyway, those lands, though, have run their course, I think, and now that's why you're going to see your Monsters Land coming into Hollywood Studios. So those two parks, you see your decline. There you go. Now, Epcot, up the 20%. Guess what's not coming to Epcot? Nothing really new other than we got the Test Track coming, which Test Track 3.0, and that actually should be a pretty big draw, though. I think a lot of people like Test Track, so I think like a lot of folks are going to want to experience Test Track. But it'll be interesting to see like how quickly Guardians of the Galaxy, that surge dies off, that surge of attendance and folks wanting to come into Epcot for that. And then, of course, Magic Kingdom, if it's kind of hit its ceiling, the 17.7 million in attendance and so forth. Like, no, that's it. You know what? I can pull this real quick. Let's see. I believe, because I was glancing at this for a second earlier, this is from Blog Mickey. They had actually pulled the numbers. So 12.7 million 2021, 2022, more of a normal year, 17 million. So that might be like that's probably looking back on some history. That 17 million number for Magic Kingdom is probably that ceiling level. So how do you get more people into the park? Well, you build a Cars Land, according to Disney. I mean, I do agree, like, as bad as it is, I've said before, I don't want anything to happen to Rivers of America. I don't want anything to happen to the Liberty Bell and so forth. But I don't think they're drawing in people. They may be drawing in big, Disney fans and so forth, but new, normal traveling guests to Disney World, probably not. But if you put a Cars Land in there, new attractions, yes, that'll draw people even further into the future. And a Villains Land, that's going to draw more people. So I mean, for the immediate, it makes total sense, like why they have to put a Cars Land and why a Villains Land is coming, and a new nighttime show is coming. All those type of, which is great. I can't wait for that. But say what you will about Galaxy's Edge, say what you will about the future with Cars Land or with Monsters, any of those new lands that come in, they're going to, in the short term, give you success and draw in the crowd. It's just about long-term, like long-term rideability and experience. If it's something you're going to want to experience a land over and over and over again, if it's going to draw you back to the parks. Okay, I got that out of the way. Now let's talk about Universal. Let's talk about Epic Universe. So you see the declines in Islands of Adventure, see it in Universal Studios. I truly believe that has something to do strongly with Epic Universe opening next year. Folks are just delaying their visits or whatever. And now here's something here I want to see. Here we go. There it is. Number 8. Look who comes in number 8. Disney Studios Hollywood. I'm sorry, Universal Studios Hollywood. Up 15% in 2023. Well, guess what they got in 2023? They got their Nintendo Land, Nintendo World. They got a Nintendo Land in the park. And you see how that drove in a 15% increase in the number of attendees coming into Universal Studios Hollywood. So for me, I'm just using my little brain here. Like, if that can draw in that surge of guests in the Nintendo World, what is an entire Epic Universe park going to draw into Universal itself? You're talking about a Nintendo World. You're talking about Celestial, whatever that thing is called. You're talking about new resorts. You're talking about Dark Universe. You're talking about dragons. How to Train Your Dragon. Another addition to the Wizarding World. You're going to get the Ministry of Magic. What is that going to draw in? The impact that is going to have here in Central Florida and maybe domestically. It's amazing. I think it's going to be interesting. What I'm going to be looking for is cannibalization. Who's going to get their chunk of attendance bitten out of them because of Epic Universe? And honestly, I think it could even happen, or realistically, it might even happen to Universal and Islands of Adventure itself. They probably will get cannibalized on their own. And I think that's why a couple months ago you saw that ticket leak, speculated ticket leak from, I think it was from travel agents, where they received like a notice that when tickets go on sale, number one, there won't be an annual pass or added to your annual pass for Epic Universe. You won't be able to buy single day tickets to Epic Universe. You would have to buy a 3-day ticket, and only out of those 3 days, one of those days could be used for Epic Universe. They were really trying to keep the attendance actually capacity in control or something. I don't think that's going to happen. It would be a bummer if Universal did that, where like they force you to buy a 3-day ticket. I'm fine with buying a 3-day ticket to Epic Universe. I'll buy a 5-day or 10-day, but I don't need a 3-day ticket to Epic Universe to use only 1 day there when I have an annual pass to visit Islands of Adventure and in regular Universal Studios. So, did they throw that out there though? Maybe because they do feel like Epic Universe is going to cannibalize people visiting Islands and visiting Universal. Probably. But also, I think every single Disney park is on the line for being cannibalized as well. Maybe not the Magic Kingdom. I think like if you still come to Orlando on a vacation, you're going to Magic Kingdom most like if you're a Disney person, or if you're coming to Orlando to experience Disney, I can't imagine you're not going to Magic Kingdom. The majority of folks in that scenario, I'm sure, are going to Magic Kingdom. But you might give up Animal Kingdom because it closes at 6 o'clock, and that new Tropical America's Land, it's not going to be ready anytime soon, not by next year at least. You might let Animal Kingdom slide so that you can go over to Universal and experience the state-of-the-art, brand new, modern technology, epic universe, right? Hollywood Studios could simply get cannibalized. Let's say you're a Star Wars fan, you don't like Galaxy's Edge for some reason. The sequels are not your thing. That's a lot of folks out there. You've already been to Galaxy's Edge and you don't really feel like you have to go again right now. Like I said, like I don't know what the repeatability is, or how many times do you want to ride Rise of the Resistance? I don't know. How many times do you want to ride Smuggler's Run? I don't know. You know what? It's like a great, like, repeatable ride for me is Toy Story Midway Mania. Like, it's a fun one. Every time it's something different. But I think, I think Disney is on the line for being cannibalized, yes, by Epic Universe, especially when you start looking at the numbers and you see what kind of crowd increase or attendance increase you saw with Universal Studios Hollywood, 15% increase just by Nintendo World. So I'm just trying to, like, envision, like, not only Nintendo World, but multiple lands, a whole new park, a whole new world, or a whole new universe. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to look at this data in the future when they do the next years. We actually waiting 2 years to see this data, I guess, right? Because we need to wait for 2025 to see what happens. But I just think like it's interesting to look at. I think the Epic Universe is going to have a dramatic, massive impact not only on Universal itself, cannibalizing its own parks, depending on how they do their ticket structure to Epic Universe. It'll be very interesting to see how they do their ticket structure. I highly doubt they're going to allow you to add Epic Universe to an annual pass anytime soon, unless there's attendance issues for some unforeseen reason. Heck, I'd be willing to, though, add it to my annual pass. I'll pay a super high premium, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But not only is Epic Universe itself possibly going to cannibalize Universal Islands, I definitely think Disney parks are on the line for being cannibalized as well. And that will be interesting to see. And that's the whole point of the video. I don't really got much else to say about it. It's just something to watch. It is an interesting time, though, attendance-wise at the parks in general, whether it's Disney or Universal. They're quiet. They're not very busy. Lots of attractions in the evenings or walk-ons, and I'm loving that as a local living here. And I'm sure if you're here on vacation or if you live here locally, you're enjoying it as much as I am. So, yeah, let's see what happens. It'll be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see. I said that too quickly. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the immediate or in the long term. Midterm. I don't know. Not long term, but midterm. But anyway, let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Like, is Epic Universe going to cannibalize and drastically change these attendance numbers once it's open? Do you think Epcot saw the big surge in 20% surge in attendance due to Guardians of the Galaxy and Moana Journey of Water opening? You know, it also could have, I'm trying to remember, like in 2023, was it Animal Kingdom closing at 6 p.m. too? I just really think like by Animal Kingdom closing at 6 o'clock, people that would normally have gone there, if they're only going for like 2 days or 3 days, like why pick Animal Kingdom? Unless you just really want to experience Avatar because you haven't done it yet. But it's interesting. Like, let me know why you think Epcot had a 20% increase. But I'm more curious though, like, what do you guys think is going to be the impact for Epic Universe on the Universal parks and the Disney parks? I think it's going to be interesting to look at. Enjoy the soft attendance here for the summer and into next year. Take advantage of it. And we'll see what happens in the coming quarters. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great one. Make sure you're subbed. Give the video a big old thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.